chop all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night
vVv gaming. I mean, I think Mystic probably going to be able to get on 3 bases if he wants to, depending on what he scouts from time. Because this is the MLG, there's no close starting positions. We do see macro games develop a little bit more, but there's so many timings for really both of these races in this matchup. Time can come with some sort of timing attack. We've seen countless times Protoss in games do those very strong timing attacks, whether it's just when the extended thermal lance hits, whether it's a void ray timing with Phoenix and things like that. But also we've seen Zerg sort of adapt and develop some own timings of their own against Forged Fast Expands. Forgot to introduce the players. We do have vVv Time spawning as the blue Protoss player in the northern position, and PswMystic, the Zerg player, spawning in as the purple player in the southern position. Kurto, take it from here. I'm tongue-tied.
Alright, so yeah, Mystic at the 6. It is Zerg versus Protoss. It is cross spawns, so this is probably what Mystic was looking for. He may be doing the extractor trick. Yes, extractor trick to get into 11/10, and then he will quickly be able to train up, I believe, 3 more drones right behind this, and then get a strong, or that, you know, that economically that Zerg players are able to do, as they're the only race that can train drones and workers up 2 at a time. And meanwhile, taking a look inside the base of Time is just chrono boosting out, trying to play catch up as he now warps in a gateway and now moves out with a scouting probe. So it is going to be a rather early scout, and he will quickly find out what his opponent is up to and knows that this is going to be a cross spawn. And we'll see how he adapts and adjusts as we now see an extractor pool opening coming in as well.
And again, no wall off from Time, so I mean, all you Protoss players out there know how dangerous a run-by for Zerg is, and Time just feels comfortable defending against all these builds without a wall-off. So it always amazes me. I know he does it quite a bit, but every time he does, I cringe a little bit. Actually, as a Zerg player, I smile a little bit, knowing that Lings can go up that ramp, harass workers, all sorts of shenanigans. But Mystic just getting up that gas in that pool, going to be able to get out speed a little bit early and really take the map control away from the Protoss player, grab those towers, and definitely get some good scouting as well.
Yeah, so we'll see when exactly Mystic does try to set up that hatchery. It looks like it may be coming down in just a moment. No, he's now going into a queen first, as the probe of Time just now going to return home. He is not going to try to block this hatchery at all. He saw the spawning pool, knows that the Zerglings are already coming in, and goes, you know what, at most I'll be able to delay that hatchery by about 3 seconds, maybe 5. Might as well just try to return home, or perhaps set up another proxy pylon somewhere else and engage.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a late probe scout coming from Time. A lot of players scout immediately after that 9 pylon, but delaying it somewhat, and that means that he's not going to be able to delay that hatchery because those Lings are coming out. Mystic doing a nice job with these Lings. He's got a few of them queued up to A-move all around the map here. Wants to make sure that there are no proxy pylons. He's got others taking the towers, and then I'm sure he's going to have one going up into the base of Time. He's going to see the fact that there's just a bit of a late wall-off coming here from Time, finally walling off with a gateway and a pylon, and a kind of a big wall-off there. So we'll see whether now with the Zealot and the Stalker should be able to wall off against this Zergling. But Mystic has not been in the base of Time. He does have an Overlord in position to sacrifice, but I'm sure he would have wanted to get up there with a Ling.
Yeah, right now I'm still waiting to see what Time is going for. He hasn't really tipped his hand. 2 gateways, 1 Cybernetics core. That's the recipe for about a half a dozen Protoss builds. We need to see if he's going to go for a Twilight Council, a Nexus, a Stargate, because all of those things can and will change how Mystic really wants to respond in this particular instance. And now the Overlord is flying its way in, trying to get as much scouting information as possible, pretty much going unanswered right now by Time, as we can see a Nexus has been warped in behind Time here at the natural expansion as well, and now going into a Forge. I am curious though as why Time is not going for mass sentries. Sentries are very, very effective in trying to deal with any Zerg aggression early on, but instead only has 2 sentries, and I may be speaking out of term as we now see Time getting more and more sentries.
Yes, just blowing all of his gas there on sentries, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing here. But again, as long as you get out these 5 or 6 sentries at the start, allow them to gather energy, they're going to be very good in any sort of early or mid-game engagements, as we do see Time pushing out here, and this might be just some posturing on his part, taking that tower, and yeah, it looks like he is going to pull back, so now he's going to force some units out from Mystic. We see a few spine crawlers going down, 6, now 10 lings, 12 lings on the way, now 14, so I can count as it just keeps going higher and higher, and Mystic definitely reacting to the tower being taken back, so Time costing his opponent in larva and potential drones there with all these defenses going up.
Yeah, so Time now transferring probes over to his natural expansion. It looks like it will get up and running without any serious challenge. We can also see that Mystic currently supply blocked at 53 over 52. Still needs to get up, finally getting... did he lose some units, or did he build some units? I'm not sure. Oh, going into double extractors, no longer being supply blocked, as Zerglings are now going to try to test that front door. There's not much of an army coming in from Mystic, especially when you add in the fact that there are photon cannon and a lot of sentries in position to fend off against anything that Mystic may try to throw at Time.
Yeah, but Mystic, he had 25 Zerglings there, so you really have to do something with those Zerglings. If you're forced to make them, you want to get into some trades, you want to try to take out a few probes or sentries or something, as those Zerglings just sitting here for multiple minutes basically cost him a lot. Those could have been potential drones, but instead his economy going to be hurt, and now he's possibly going to try to do something with these Lings. But again, as a Zerg player, you definitely don't want those Lings to go to waste if you're forced to make them at the start.
Yeah, you can see all of these Lings. Every 2 Zerglings could have been a drone, and that would give a strong economic advantage. Right now, he does have 44 drones compared to 38 probes, so that is helping him out, and he's also taking up a 3rd base as well. There is a proxy pylon set up at the 3 o'clock starting location, as the Zerglings may try to push their way in, and now the hallucinated Phoenix just keeping track of these Zerglings as more Zerglings once again getting destroyed.
And Time doesn't know about this third, or does know about this third from Mystic, so I imagine he's going to push out, possibly get on a third in a minute or two himself. We don't see much tech coming from Time besides Blink. He has yet to throw up anything, Templar-wise, whether it's DTs or those High Templar, but he has gotten his +1 weapon, so might be going for some sort of Blink timing here. Doesn't have a ton of Stalkers, just 8 right now, but again, he does have those sentries. And again, it's a heavy gas investment at the start, but they do have close to full energy, most of them, so a lot of force fields could be coming here as we see a Lynx coming in, trying to get a surround, taking down just 1 sentry. So nice force fields there by Time. Yeah,
so I think Time has a significant advantage right now. His army in total resources about triple, never mind as a batch of roaches and Zerglings now just coming out. So if they engage on creep, it may give a very strong advantage to Mystic, as now you can see that the Queen is now making its way over. The Queen may get destroyed. Mystic losing control of the Queen there, as force field should be coming in perhaps to block the ramp and now deal even more damage. There are some force fields horribly placed, as now Mystic continuing to push in. Another force field needs to be added, and there's the burrow.
Oh, beautiful burrow play. That's going to basically mean that Time has to go home. If he didn't show that burrow, I'm sure Time would have tried to trade a little bit more there, but now he knows he's got no observers, 1 on the way here. Imagine he's going to be chrono boosting that out, and now trying to retreat with these Blink Stalkers. He will be able to get home, but now Mystic going to be pushing out. He won't be able to do too much against the cannons, providing detection for Time at the front of his base. But, Mystic, I like the fact that he's at least countering here and keeping Time on his toes.
Yeah, you can see 51 probes now compared to 48. An expansion by Time here at the 10 o'clock location. The Observer will be joining up with this army of Stalkers in just a moment. Level 1 weapons upgrade has been completed. So a little bit of a seesaw, pendulum action in this game so far. Level 1 armor upgrades versus level 1 weapons upgrade. So both armies about the same amount of tech, as we now see level 2 weapons upgrade about to be completed.
Yeah, it's a really important armor upgrade for Mystic. That means that those Zealots aren't going to be 2-shotting Zerglings anymore with that +1 upgrade. We do see +2 on the way for the Zealots, and a Robotics Bay as well as a 3rd for Time. So Time trying to defend with cannons. Interesting that he doesn't throw up gateways blocking off the ramp at that 3rd. We often see that's a popular move from Protoss players, and Time remaining very active with these Blink Stalkers, taking down an Overlord in the center of the map. So once creep is spread there, he's going to have to pull back with those Stalkers a little bit. But I like the aggression on his part with those Blink Stalkers. Not much can catch him besides those Speedlings, and you can just blink away and kite him a little bit and do a lot of damage to the Zerg.
Yeah, Mystic is now caught in the center with an Overseer. The Overseer, casting a quick contamination there. The Overseer now down to 32 hit points, able to back off just in time, but it will delay a Colossus by 30 seconds, I believe. So, yeah, delaying any critical unit like that first Colossus, the extended thermal lance range, always very important, as we are now going into a Spire. That Spire will most likely just train up some Corruptors, as Zerglings now try to run in and will be able to surround. This third base is going to have a bit of a problem, and there are a lot of probes being transferred over. Zealots now trying to warp in as well, but this is not looking good.
The time, a very slow reaction there. Almost both cannons going down before the Zealots at the natural even moved. And I think a ton of damage is going to be done here. The Stalkers were out on the field trying to harass, so perhaps he should have kept those at home. The Zerglings at least going to take down this Nexus, and a great trade here from Mystic. He lost a few units there, actually a decent number of units, but able to pull back and basically delay that third from time for quite a while.
Yeah, you can see now that the third base is already up for Mystic. Time really needed this base up and running, and he may be forced to try to double expand now in order to catch up. That may be a problem, as we are now getting that Spire. It looks like the Colossi are not going to be able to deal that much damage at all, as Corruptors should be coming in just a moment. We are getting level 3 weapons upgrade, extended thermal lances, and now also pathogen glands from Mystic. So Mystic looking to use Infestors to perhaps slow down the gateway units or even take control of those Colossi. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, Infestor's very good against that Deathball style of the Protoss player. Obviously, they crunch up a little bit. The Colossi can stand on top of the Zealots and the Stalkers, so fungal growth very good, and also coming out with Corruptors as well. So we do see the Colossus again once being contaminated again is the robotics facility. So delaying the Colossus numbers, Mystic doing a nice job of doing that, and Time just has the one Colossus out at the moment. He only has 3 sentries as well, so he's not going to have a lot of force fields, not going to be able to control these battles, as Mystic at 173 against the 140 of Time.
Yeah, taking a look at the army though, the army costs are about the same, 4175 versus 3900. So I'm really curious as to what the food difference is. And there's only a 6 drone difference as well. So perhaps it's the Infestors and the Zerglings which are eating up some food, but are not added to the army just quite yet. But both sides are still very, very close, as you now see another expansion being taken place, or being taken at the 3 o'clock location, excuse me. And we'll see whether or not Mystic will be able to get that up and running anytime soon.
Yeah, but he definitely wants to stay a base ahead of Time, as Time has gotten that third up and running. He lost quite a few Harvesters in that attack, about 10. So he has evened it up a little bit, 65 to 65 now. And Time once again being very active with these Blink Stalkers, moving across the field. Probably going to force a cancel on this fourth base of Mystic. And we'll see whether Mystic tries a counter into the third of Time. Looks like he's going to do just that, pushing out with these Roaches, Infestors, Lings, and Corruptors. And I feel like he's going to do a good amount of damage.
Yeah, you can see that there is currently one Colossus. The Colossus perhaps should be pulling back just a little bit. And now more Stalkers coming in as well. Cannons getting destroyed, but the Roaches and now Infestors coming in, fungal growth now coming in as well. Corruptors finishing off one Colossus. In comes some force fields. Stalkers now trying to blink, able to get there. Perhaps all the Corruptors will get taken down, but not after the last Colossus does get taken down as well. As the Stalkers and everyone just engaging back and forth. Mystic could perhaps burrow. I don't see any observers here, and then just trying to play whack-a-mole against so many health regenerating units is very, very difficult.
An Infested Terran being thrown out to try to push this in Mystic's favor. He is macroing up like a boss, though. 25 Roaches on the way. He has done quite a bit of damage to both the tech and the army of Time. Time lost all the sentries there, as well as his Colossus, able to blink in and finally take down the remaining forces of Mystic. But Mystic macroing up very strong behind this. He's actually got an Ultralisk Cavern on the way, so we'll see whether if he keeps pushing in with more and more aggression. He had units rallied to the natural of Time there, but I imagine he might just pull back, wait for those Ultras, and then push in for a final blow against Time, who's now down about 80 food to the Zerg player Mystic.
Yeah, currently we are going into a greater spire as well. Taking a look at the corruptor count, there's only 3 of them, but it will allow Mystic to train up corruptors and then transition into broodlords if need be. But Time now going to be going in for a counterattack, and knowing that he cannot let this game go too long, otherwise his opponent's economy may just be simply too much. Roaches are engaging. The Roaches are now making their way over, moving very, very quickly. It looks like this one hatchery will get destroyed. Roaches now going to try to engage. Are they going to be able to blink away? Not able to blink up onto the high ground, and the Colossi accidentally hitting themselves there. And now you can see that the Roaches are continuing to push up that ramp. The Colossus getting in a lot of free shots though, so that was a little bit of a terrain advantage by Time, as Time should be able to blink the Stalkers down and try to regroup and retreat with these units. There you go.
You know, I really like that engagement for Time. He was once again able to cancel the 4th, or force a cancel from Mystic, and he didn't lose that Nexus at that 3rd. And that's an important thing to point out. When that those armies traded a little bit, Time took a lot of damage. He's behind, of course he is, 191 against 109 now, so he definitely has a lot of work to do, but keeping a Zerg on equal number of bases, as we see Mystic now trying to take the gold, is a nice job by Time, using that the high ground there really to his advantage, using the Colossus and the Blink Stalkers. But now we see Broodlords coming out for Mystic, so I think this is going to be the final push, as Time just doesn't have the economy and the army here to defend against this.
Yeah, the only thing that he has going for him right now is that he is trying to go into a Dark Shrine. Are the gateways going to come up in time? No, they are not going to come up, and now perhaps going to get canceled. We're back. One Infestor, oh, barely surviving. There is no fungal growth either, so Mystic trying to push up that ramp and chose a really, really bad timing there, but in come the Broodlords now. Broodlords are going to be able to start raining fungal growth coming in, and there is the GG.
Yeah, Time, I think, probably could have perhaps dealt with the Broodlords, maybe with the Infestors, but not together. That fungal growth, great, goes down on Time, and immediately we get the GG. He knew he was behind, but put his team up 2-1, and now Mystic able to kind of wrestle back control a little bit. That was a very important game. You don't want to go down 3-0 in a best-of-7 series. So Team PSW getting on the scoreboard. It is now 2-1 in favor of vVv Gaming, but Mystic has his team on the comeback trail.